Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Inside the Mayhem, live on the Vortex Racing Network. I'm Mean Gene Money, the host of Inside the Mayhem, as we bring you all the action of the MRL Cup Series here live on the Vortex Racing Network. It's round two of the playoffs, the round of 8, and the boys take it to Michigan International Speedway to see who could be the first person to punch their ticket into the championship four. It's winning you're in, and all 8 drivers looking to make their name. Zach Panzarella is going to be live here on the channel with me, and a little bit later we're going to have a guest as well. Playoff driver Tony Iverson is returning to talk about how Michigan went for him and the excitement leading into the playoff situation. Let's pump up those playoff numbers. This is us looking as we go in. You can see the regular season champion, David Owens, still on top. Zero Chill himself, powered behind 2 wins and 5 top 5s and 12 top 10s. Colin Bollinger right behind him, just 2 points behind. Slight gap to the next 3 drivers. Iverson, Kyle, and Volpus. Remember, only 4 can advance. So right now, Joe Volpus on the outside looking in. Matt Novella, he scooted up the points after winning at Kentucky, pushed him in. And now, though, he's got an uphill battle, 8 points behind Kevin Kyle for that number 4 spot. Andrew Bolander and Sean Walton, the 2 teammates of Colin Bollinger, Mo Power drivers, way down, gonna need big days here today if they expect to find themselves in that round of 4. And Kentucky turned out to be a story of speed and strategy. Having good teammates would make all the difference here today as they found their way into this playoff race. Go ahead and pull up the starting grid as we get ready to do battle here today. So multiple teams making battle. Of course, the Mo Power boys, as I just mentioned, Colin Bollinger, Andrew Bolander, Sean Walton, and Daniel Plant Smith. Daniel Smith not making the trip today. After that, you've got the East Coast Alliance team, and that's going to be Joe Volpus with his adjacent drivers helping him out. The High Side Hustlers of David Owens, Tony Iverson, and Eric Thornton. Eric Thornton had been eliminated, but still a power on the track. And there is the grid, as we can see where the playoff drivers end up lining up. Tony Iverson, playoff driver, ends up taking first place in the grid. And we're going to just skip ahead and not worry about anything I was about to say. And let's just look at the cars on the track. Tony Iverson with that pole position and his teammate behind him, Eric Thornton. So these boys managed to take it 4 wide early on. Big story, though, had to be Colin Bollinger actually taking time to qualify in this race. Since he's up in the front, let's go ahead and bring him on now. Hey, Tony, you there with me, pal?
Yeah, you got me.
Yep, go ahead and put the headset on and put that Snickers bar down. It's time to talk. There he is, as the eye on Iverson camera. Early on, this race looked like it was yours to lead. How were you feeling at the beginning of this race?
I love this track, so I was, I felt good. Finally got a pole for the season, so that was nice. And I was just anxious to get the race going, and it felt good to be out there and not have to pass a bunch of cars in the beginning.
Now, you had to feel good to have your buddy there behind you. David Owens, a little bit further back in the pack. He had to be one of those fellas when we talk about strategy later. But Eric behind you had to feel good. And then the 53, Colin never qualifies. So were you aware that that fella was that close at the get-go?
Yeah, I saw that he decided to qualify, and I'm glad he did, with the round of 8, coming along. And I think it was cool to see him up the ante a little bit.
Definitely something that Zach and I discussed early on was how things have changed now that y'all were in the round of 8. Early on in the race, though, we had an incident. The 56 playoff driver, Matt Novella, he won Kentucky last week to find his way into the race. But if we can get that close up on Matt Novella, we're going to find out exactly how his day started. So Matt Novella, he's in the third lane inside car. He's in that DDI 56.
Yeah, I didn't see any of this stuff. So. Oh.
So here we go. Bobby Dodson back onto the track, and now Novella finds himself there in the middle, and
it almost kind of looked like retaliation a little bit, but at the same time, there could be 2 cars going for the same spot. I don't know. That was bang bang right there. It's hard to tell what happened.
Hey, that was a police car behind him. You can't say bang bang when the police are involved. So Novella kept it going, though, Matt Novella, but this would affect how Novella would address the race later on, falling back quickly, not happy. Let's check in on another playoff driver. If we can go to lap 12, we can check in on Kevin Kyle. Now, Kevin Kyle, he is the 4th place driver coming into this thing. So he was very excited after the last the last elimination round, finding himself on the cutoff. And there he is right there in the 27, the 2X driver. Look at the speed of the 84. Jax Duvall, he is the top points driver that did not make the playoffs because he missed a few races.
I expected him to be strong today with, he almost won the championship last year. So.
It is true. Coming up second to Buddy Sully. And Buddy, who ran out of gas last week, another fast guy that runs part-time. So you can see here, Kevin Kyle making use of the outside lane. And Jax Duvall with a lot of speed. Joe Volpus, Michael Mata behind him.
Yeah, we ended up getting word that Mata was on controller today.
Yes. Here we go. They're getting close, but everything looks fine, right? It's all fine. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Oh,
don't worry. No, don't worry.
Oh my God. Oh man, he was doing a salam out there.
So a little bit of excitement there for the playoff driver, Kevin Kyle. Kevin was 4th in points going into this. Not exactly how he would like his day to go as he finds himself in trouble early. Finally, a lot of these fellas making it around lap 30. So what do you think? When did the tires get loose on you, Tony? And when did you start thinking about coming into the pits?
Getting to like lap 26, 27 of a run, I would slightly change the way that I was exiting a little bit to compensate for the tire wear. But with the way I run this track, I was able to kind of just more drive the car with the pedals than anything and manage the tires pretty decently. But yeah, I would say around like level like 26 maybe.
So we were told early on you could make it about 30 or 35 laps before you decided that it might be time to come in and take fuel. But tires making that decision for the boys early on. Let's check out another playoff driver. I want to check out what happened to Andrew Bolander. Now, Andrew came in the points. He was 7th in points coming in, and he was running decent times. And then all of a sudden on lap 61, Andrew comes in, and he is running in the top 12 at about that point. And then he comes in for a pit stop. And again, the boys came in around 30. We had the stage break around 50. And then that puts you on the pit cycle again. And there he is. And you can hit fast forward. You can run it at a time 16 or you can run it at a times 32. It doesn't matter because he never comes out. I'm not sure what happened. We're still waiting on word from the front office of the Mopower boys. But this is how his race ended. He sat there for 90 seconds. and then they changed his tires. And then he just continued to sit there for the rest of the race. Is there a penalty that, Tony, that you're aware of where you would sit there for 90 seconds before they even touch the tires?
No, I know of 40 seconds.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure what could have been going on there unless he had multiple penalties or something of that nature, but I'm not really sure how iRacing would even handle that. So, uh, it kind of to me seems like there's probably some type of outside influence on that event, but yeah, hopefully everything with him's okay, and it's a shame that he couldn't run this race with us.
Yeah, I agree. Very strange. He was in there for a while and then just vanished. No word from his team as to what happened yet. So it's going to put a lot of pressure on him as they go to Nashville next week and then Phoenix afterwards. As suddenly the number 8 finds himself hard pressed to make something happen. Let's continue that theme of the Mo Power boys. That's going to bring us to the 23 of Sean Walton. Now, again, third lap 30, a lot of people pitting lap 60 ish, a lot of people pitting. So we're going to go to lap 81. Lap 81, Sean Walton comes in and he's going to make his final pit stop. This is a 100 lap race. And this is where the strategy starts to come in. Sean had already fallen behind Tony. You and Colin and Eric were just laying down burners today. I mean, at one point, I think you guys were about 17 seconds ahead of the next group of guys. Was that just the three of you managed to hit all your points, or did you kind of know you had that speed advantage?
I was not aware that it was that we were that far out ahead. No, that's awesome. Yeah, I didn't realize that there was like that much of a disparity between the top three and the rest of the field, but that's pretty cool to hear. We're hauling ass.
Oh, you were. And this was a battle we saw all day for Sean Walton was with the '08 of Hillman. Hillman had a great run today there in that '08 VRN. And those guys battled back and forth for a long time. And then finally, Walton was able to make his way into the pits with a little bit of strategy and take over the position. Oh, all right. Well, go back to maybe 79. I don't know when it is. Nope. So anyway, here he goes. Finally, Sean Walton going to make his way to the pits. But the point was, he was so far behind you, he felt like he had to come up with a different strategy. And so Sean, at this point, even though tires made the decision that he would pit and take 2 tires. Moving ahead, looks like also got Eric Thornton on the screen there. Now, Thornton, he also making a decision to short pit early on to get the speed coming out. And that did give him a lead, but you guys, meaning you and Colin, managed to catch him pretty regularly. Were you all talking about this on your team channel, his decision to pit early? And you just thought, I'm going to make it go longer? Did he feel obligated, or did he just think this was a way that he could get the advantage over that 53?
Curiously enough, Thornton and I have a very interesting teammate relationship in the sense that I didn't even know when he was pitting. I didn't know that he was trying to undercut. Um, there wasn't as much communication as you might think. Even at the end there, when he was racing the 53, as I'm following them guys, I'm like, yeah, race them. But it was never like, oh, hey, fellow hustler, race that guy harder. So um, Thornton was doing his thing and I was doing my thing. We were kind of locked in, and there wasn't as much discussion as you might imagine.
No. And then you as well, at some point in here, made that call that you were going to take two as well, right?
Yeah. So over the last two green flag stops, I had took 4 with everybody, but, one of them, I ran through the pit box and had to back up and lost a lot of time, and then another And then on the one of the other stops, I just was so slow entering pit road. It was agonizing even to do it. So yeah, there they go right there. So the only at that point I was like 3.5, 4 seconds behind them guys when they pitted. And so I just took the gamble to take two, and it gained me a little bit of room there, ground, I should say. But with both of them taking four, I honestly didn't know if I had anything for them, and probably didn't if they didn't start racing each other.
And how much do you think it helped that you had that car of Jack Sanders in between? Were you able to pull up using that car,
Oh
that
yeah,
lap car?
I had just started catching his draft before they really started beating and banging up there, so it definitely helped out a lot for me to be where I needed to be when I needed to be there.
Now you did have one more teammate, David Owens. So was his strategy also his own? Not a lot of communication out there. David actually took a weird strategy than the rest of you guys. Everyone pitted on lap 30, 31, of course, and then David Owens, just 15 laps later, chooses to come down on lap 48. Was that talked about on the team channel?
Oh yeah, David Owens had a if a later caution would have come out, especially during that last run, um, he would have been the only person left with tires because he didn't take anything in the first run and tried to stretch his tires out. It cost him some track position, but had a caution come out, and then he's the only guy with tires. I think Buddy Sully and Jex Duvall showed us what could happen at the end of a Michigan race with that. So he had a strategy going, it just didn't play out for him.
Oh, and then yeah, here's a little bit of Thornton. Your teammate is racing right there. Now again, Thornton in the lead. Colin is chasing him down, and you are still with your two-tire strategies trying to catch up there. And let's just take a look. Walk me through what you're thinking if you're Colin.
Um, well, if I'm calling right here, I'm definitely going to try to be just pressuring as much as possible, try to force some kind of wiggle, some kind of arrow push, something. Um, but at the same time, you want that clean air. So yeah, I think I'd be doing exactly what he's doing right here. Oh yeah,
Hmm.
they're definitely side drafting here. Oh,
Oh, they're having
oh,
fun. Look at that.
ooh. You know, I haven't seen that one. I'd feel like, oh man, I'd have to see it from the chase probably, but it did look like Colin might have came up on him a little bit there.
Well, they're rubbing. They're racing. They're rubbing is racing. We might see a little bit more of that later in this later in these
Thornton,
clips.
yeah, Thornton sends it in the turn three. Oh, barely. Yeah, and the draft here is killer. So like it's like straight away, follow him, turn, don't follow him. That's kind of the laws here.
And here it is. Look at that late run he's getting.
Yeah, he was doing that's
And he
the kind of
tries
the
high
line you want
again.
to do on dead tires and getting high. I mean, this all kind of spells, you're doing what you got to do. Thornton's not even aggressively side drafting down the straightaway.
And there
I
you
mean,
come into the picture at that point. That really closed that gap. You got by Sanders, and then that really allowed you to get back into this thing.
oh yeah, I was just hoping that they would stay side by side. And then that move right there was literally me just being like, "Well, he is my teammate. Maybe he'll let me go race this guy." Kind of shoved my way in there a little bit, but she stuck. So
Yeah, you had to be happy with the result of that. So if we could, let's take a little pick. Other drivers
oh,
of
keep it
note, Matt Novella. Oh, and that's where that battle begins. If we go look at Matt Novella and Joe Volpus, these two guys were on their own strategy. These two guys chose to push it. They did not make that third pit stop like the rest of you. So their lap times were well off. Was there any point where you thought they could hold off the charge, or did you know they were triaging, just hoping for a good finish?
I hate to sound like this, but I had no idea anybody was even trying anything like that. They were all just other cars on the track for me this race.
I see. So you were a little more concerned with the immediate 53 and 1 right in your face, eh?
Yeah, it was all about the. It was literally just about them guys from the very get go, and nobody really ever came in to make me think about anything other than those two.
Well, Novella, remember, he was the victim of that early spin, and then Joe Volpus running in the back. So those two guys deciding that they would push that fuel run as much as they could. A lot of fun excitement here. Last few laps as y'all were making battle. What, Zach? What lap is this?
I remember that part of the race. I thought the race was over for me right there. I didn't think I hit the wall flush enough, but luckily she wasn't too hurt.
Yeah. So this is 13 to go on this lap right here. Y'all are all being chased by that cop car, and it is just wildness. Now, again, Tony, you guys are fighting for third, fourth, and fifth. At least were you aware you're catching these two cars, and that might influence the battle?
Um, I saw a few cars up there, but I didn't even realize we weren't in first and second right here at this point. I didn't even know. I was just I was so focused on beating the 53 car.
Yeah, lots of bang in there. So again, you guys third, fourth, and fifth. The police car behind you is a lap down. Volpus and Matt Novella in front of you, but again, old tires, and they are milking it. Those fellas, both of them said they ran out of gas as they crossed the finish line. So they timed it exactly perfectly. Behind you, where we can't see, were Sean Walton battling Hillman to try to move up as far as he could as well. Yes, and you could see those two fellas. They had an amazing time with each other as well.
Ooh, yeah, I can't
Oh
wait to
yeah.
check out this broadcast. There's a lot of things going on that I literally was just so unaware of that I'm usually more in tune with.
Well, I was watching that on my screen, but what was happening up front with the you three guys made it very difficult to justify pulling away what had happened up front, unless of course there was a wreck. At some point, these two though they came to an agreement, and Sean Walton was able to pull away. Yeah, I mean, if you almost wreck 3 laps in a row, at some point you're gonna just kind of wave away to the other driver. Um, so again, I think that catches up with most all of our playoff drivers, except of course the conclusion. Zach, if you want to take us back to
Oh
see
yeah.
the last, what do you want? What do you want? The last 2-3 laps?
Oh, let's do it, me and Gene. And I'm even gonna get myself on cam for this because I'm just so excited to break this down with you guys. This is gonna be a lot of fun because this was two of three of the craziest laps I think we've ever seen, and we were already looking. I mean, let's look now. Probably about 10 to go, and these guys are just absolutely going crazy right now. But here we go. I'm gonna get
And you're
myself
on
out
two
of Tony's way.
tires. You're
Yeah,
on two
that's
tires. Yeah.
Yeah, my car was driving so shitty. It was crazy.
we did not know that, me and Gene, at all. So let's go. Here we go. Let's go the last 3 laps. And take us through it, Tony. Here we go.
Oh man, I was throwing blocks. I was, trying to get the best run into the corner I could with my dead ass tires, knowing that he was probably gonna be able to launch, and then he was gonna have the draft too. So um, I was just trying my best to make the first half of each set of corners as much to my advantage as possible, and then just hanging on for the exit of the corner. And
We,
yeah, it was insane. It was so hard to drive this car through these last few laps.
we were kind of speculating about whether or not you wanted to be the leader or not here because of the effect of the draft. Would you have rather been uh, Bollinger in the situation, or were you happy being in control in first place?
Oh no, I wanted to be the leader. I wanted to be
Gotcha.
sure that if we ended up side by side, that I got to dictate where I
There's the loose
was.
moment there. So what's going
Oh
through your
yeah.
head there?
Um, I honestly, it's gonna sound cheesy, but there was a race I want to say about 3-4 months ago where I pulled some shit like that, and then you said Tony Iverson has found every single way to lose a race.
As have I.
So I was trying not to find another way to lose a race, and yeah, we ended up side by side. And
You got creative there, Tony.
My heart was just racing so hard right here. This is so fun.
Oh, this is why we need heart rate monitors. Me and Gene, this is why we need heart rate monitors, because I probably dangerously high. And here we go. There's the did you feel that one?
Oh yeah.
And then that one, and then that one.
Yeah, let's go for
it. Is this the white flag lap?
Yeah, it is. And let's go for our chase.
Oh man, yeah. See, I wanted to have a clean run of the finish so bad.
2, 3.
Yeah, he did get tight. Oh,
and then he's like, "I gotta win now." I'm
Mean Gene, your commentary there. I watched it back. I'm not sure if you've seen it yet, Tony, but Mean Gene, word for word goes in. Tony says, "Screw you."
Oh my god.
Brilliant call by Mean Gene there.
Talk about racers code. What was the term you used?
Well, I think the post-race reaction from Colin is what I was referring to when I said that he just kind of showed how much of a racer he is. I heard him talking, and he was more frustrated with Thornton than anybody else. And when he brought up what happened with us, I just I was really impressed with what he said. He just and a little bit relieved, honestly, too, because I really was hoping that he saw my perspective. And yeah, I thought we were going to drag race to the end. He got tight, slammed me into the wall, and then it happened a couple more times. And when I saw that he had a nose on me after that, it just felt like a really dirty way to lose that race. So I just kept my car pointed the direction it was, and then I did want to make contact with him, but I didn't realize how far back on his car I was until he was already spinning off my bumper. So it was kind of one of those that went a little worse than I thought kind of things. But at the same time, I don't think I would have changed anything I did. I wouldn't let him just run to the finish line after dooring me into the wall like that. So I think that was just racing.
I'll touch on that a little bit, Mean Gene, too, as someone that I've never been in this particular situation, but I will say, I mean, look behind me. That's all Kyle Larson. I am a massive fan of his, and he won me over actually in that Chicagoland race when he lost to Kyle Busch, when Larson walled him, and then Busch just sent him through 3 and 4. And the first thing that Kyle Larson did was give him a thumbs up. And I think the first thing I want to say is, like, I want to give a lot of props to Colin Bollinger. Really, really young for how talented he is, and to have that maturity as well to understand. I think that it's racer's code, and really what that code is if you throw the first punch, all bets are off. And that's, I mean, Tony got punched 3 times in the face here, so all bets were really off, in my opinion. I think he had every right to make the move he made. I mean, I'm gonna call a spade here, Tony. This was a right rare. I mean, but this is what I wanted to ask you, Mean Gene. What would you do if you were Tony Iverson here?
Oh, no, you don't want to know what I would do. I'm a Joey Logano fan.
I know what you do.
We could have run 99 laps clean, and then I'm still gonna door you or spin you, and then I'm gonna look John Beverly in the face and say it was an accident. I didn't mean to do it. What do you mean you're penalizing me?
Yeah,
that's why I don't have a camera in here for y'all to see me celebrating.
You don't even need the wall hit, do you? You do it anyway.
Yeah, I don't need. And you got to add also, as far as Colin throwing the first punch, though, you also kind of got to add. Even though Tony, you said that you and Eric aren't in communication about actively blocking Colin. That's from Colin's perspective. He just sees your teammate giving him the business.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You can imagine he's already been kicked in the shin a few times before you're up there with him. So when he's throwing that haymaker, he's not thinking he's throwing the first punch. He's thinking he's already in the middle. And it was a hell of a dogfight. I mean, the show that you guys put on this entire race, all 3 of you, very exciting. And so, like you said, racer's code, and I'm glad Colin took it that way. to just see that excitement. That being said, though, I imagine he's going to be going into the next few races thinking maybe y'all are up one on him.
Well, if if we got to get on technical terms like that, we'll just say that makes us even for Dover.
Oh God! Well, for every Dover, there's probably a Pocono somewhere. For every Pocono, there's probably an Indy somewhere, and
road course somewhere in there too, Eugene.
Zach, I remember 3 years ago when we were racing street stocks. You got me at Kearns.
So this
track.
was okay. So this was okay.
That's right. And you're like, no, you hit me harder. 10 pounds of square force harder.
Yep.
So I owe you more.
Exactly.
Well,
exactly.
Again, super exciting racing. 100 laps of green flag. We saw a lot of times where it could have gone bad. And then to get that dynamic finish at the end, the monkey's off your back, right, Tony? Now you just kind of go for maybe get you another trophy. And I know you say y'all don't communicate, but you and Owen side by side. Do you let off the gas a little bit to help your teammate get to that Final Four?
Oh yeah. I mean, we communicate. It's just like Owens and I, we've planned out things here and there. I think the times where Thornton and I have coordinated things have been like restarts here. There was one restart where it was a nasty, we just burnt everybody out at, I think it was the Chicago race, or Kentucky. But
you guys have crazy memories.
Yeah, we have communication. I think that this race was just more I think I was really zeroed in because I've never made the Final Four in any of the leagues I've ran, so I just really wanted to get the Gravedigger Mustang in the Final Four, and so I was kind of zeroed in, locked in. I mean, of course I'm cheering for Thornton and him to race the shit out of each other when I'm in third place trying to chase them down on 2 tires, but I never came over the radio and was like, "Hey Thornton, is your arm itchy?" Or something.
Does the one know the deal? Does the one know the deal?
Yeah. Nothing like that was going on, but and after seeing the replay, I will say that it sounded a lot crazier coming from the other guys involved in the race between the 53 and the 1. That kind of just looked like some racing to me. I don't know. It didn't look as crazy as some of the anger I heard over it. I guess you could say.
Well, he probably was just thinking playoffs more so than just this individual race.
Right. But yeah, to answer your question, if we're at Nashville and Owens is racing with me, I am one of the worst people about it, but I'd probably let him win.
Well, that's you gotta think about that moving in. Of course, then that also sets you up to have to face David Owens in a championship 4 at Vegas.
When I teamed up with him, I felt like that was an inevitability. When he approached me about running with me, I kind of knew because I ran by myself in this league for a while before I talked with anybody. And I was like, oh, the one guy that I'm always worried about fucking up my race by actually being up here with me. He wants to be on my team, let's fucking go, and yeah.
Eugene, how much money does this guy owe us?
Yeah, no doubt.
What's our fine per cuss word? Should we just say $25,000?
I think it's just F words.
So we're looking at like 100K. So just that whole purse that you just won today, just forward that to us, Tony.
All
appreciate
of
it.
Yeah, forwarded to VRN. My bad.
This guy.
The jar.
Speaking of team standings,
yes,
you can see up there. Y'all got to feel pretty good right about now, especially here playoff time. And there it is. Now, the thing that hurts my feelings is we didn't actually put the Mo Power guys on a team. They didn't register for this, did they?
That I didn't actually know. I think they're a wise guy. I think they're all actually.
Yeah, I think they may be a wise guy. I mean, Gene.
Are they?
Yeah, I want to say I saw Bollinger and Bo Lander, or maybe it was Plant. One of them.
Yeah, Plant is the fourth one.
Wise guy.
Is he? Okay, yeah. Wise guy is Bollinger, Medina, Amato, and I believe it is. It's Garand actually.
Yeah, See, and that's not legit because the reality is it's Bolander, Bollinger, Sean Walton, Daniel Plant Smith.
Yeah,
Those four guys, they're on top of each other like a Dodge team running all by themselves against everybody else. So I'd love to see their points. But regardless, these are the points as we stand right now. High side hustlers, especially considering that hot run Owens had 3/4 of the way through the season. Your solid season as well, putting you guys firm up top. East Coast Alliance still trying to make a little bit of a chase, but y'all have to feel good at this point in the season. So team standings, that team championship is in your grasp. And now with you in that Final Four. Great first year for the Hustlers, right?
Oh yeah, you can't ask for a better first year. I mean, I talked a lot of junk when the see, I didn't say the S word. I talked a lot of junk when the season started when we were forming this team. Saying, and then you guys kind of added to it on the commentary, calling us the Axis of Evil and stuff like that.
I have no idea what he's I have no idea. I have no idea what he's talking about, Gene. This is shocking to me. I can't believe that Hustlers are doing this. This is crazy shocking to me. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Yep,
Oh, we embrace it. We love it. Yeah, and to see our name on top in the standings, I'm not the original owner of the team. I'm just a member for years of the team. So it's nice to go back to the owners and be like, hey guys, look what we're doing.
Gene, do you remember the Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant?
I'm a Rockets fan. You know I remember that.
Oh yeah, so you remember that? I don't know why I'm bringing that up. I'm just just came to my mind.
Why does it burn? My eyes burn. It's like bleach in my eye.
Oh, if you're a Rockets fan,
again.
They did it to you guys again. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. We could talk about that for an hour. I'm sorry.
No.
Screw that team.
Anyway, great run. Congratulations, Tony. You are in the Final Four in Vegas. Next week, Nashville. You're also very good on there. I seem to remember you had a heck of a good time at Nashville last year.
Yeah, I caught the W on a fuel saving strategy. It was the only time I've ever won a fuel race, so that was pretty cool.
Yup. And so who knows? We might see you in victory lane again, especially considering the success that you had last year and that momentum now. Uncle Mo is now riding passenger in the number 13 Ford. Well, thank you so much for joining us here today, Tony. Always a pleasure when you come on the show. And hopefully, who knows, might be talking to you next week in Nashville.
Hey, I hope so. Thanks for having me, you guys. It's been fun.
Yep, there he goes. That is the winner of today's race, and that pushes him to the top. You can see the points there now. Tony Iverson, golden ticket. He is in the finals. Colin Bollinger, David Owens, and Joe Volpus bumps up one spot to take over that fourth spot. Not Matt Novella, just 8 points behind him. And then Kevin Kyle, ouch, rough day, drops 2 spots. Sean Walton jumps up 1. But, man, if he wants to get to fourth, he's 15 back. And when you're chasing names like Bollinger, Owens, and Volpus, it's going to take a win. What do you think, Zach? I mean, any of the guys, Kyle, Winfield, Bolander, must wins, right?
Almost so. And what also says that to
and
me
Novella, maybe Novella?
Yeah.
Is it too much now?
8 points, I think, is doable with 2 races and the consistency that Matt is showing right now. But what really scares me is look at Bolander. It's almost like he didn't show up, right? But he did. He was here today. That negative 48 is disgusting. That's reminiscent of when Daniel Smith missed the first race of the round of 12. It was a gap like that. It just goes to show that one or some misfortune or using your passenger pairs early, whatever it may be, especially these 2 tracks we have coming up, Nashville and Phoenix, 2 pretty intense tracks. You gotta protect your race car. So that's why I'm not gonna count out Matt Novella yet in terms of pointing his way in. In terms of comfortable being comfortable into it, it is a must win, me and Gene, because I'm not gonna lie, it kind of
you're chasing.
Exactly. It kind of feels like there's one spot open, if we're being realistic, right? Like, it kind of feels like that fourth spot's the only one open. Bollinger and Owens have been so good all season. It's going to be tough to take away those Final Four spots from those 2.
Yeah, and when you throw into the fact that you're trying to chase down a Joe Volpus, who missed the playoffs also last year, missed the Final Four, I should say. He's kind of in that same spot that Tony Iverson's in. So I don't know. I'm not thinking I can spot my way in. Even if I'm Novella back, I'm thinking I got to win. I mean, hell, Joe Volpus might be thinking he needs to win the way Novella's put on a show the last 3 weeks.
I would assume that is what Volpus is thinking, knowing what Volpus has, the way he's been approaching races lately. I'd absolutely assume that's what Volpus is thinking. And I'm also thinking about this, me and Gene, like last season, Tony Iverson, we felt like was our strongest driver, right? We thought he was going to be the guy that raced for a championship.
Behind
Obviously,
Cook.
yeah.
Cook,
Oh, yeah.
Cook.
And Cook. You're very right. He didn't even go to the championship race in terms of racing for a championship this year. And we've talked about this a lot. And I mean, I think this is very, very important in real life. Like you see it a lot with Penske, right? You saw it a lot with Blaney. You saw it last year with Logano. It is so big to be locked in now. He doesn't need to care about Nashville and Phoenix. Like, sure, it'd be great to get more trophies, but if I'm him, get your butt to it's Vegas, right? We're racing in Vegas for the championship.
Yeah.
Go to Vegas now. Get your room booked right now, and you should be putting 100 laps a day. Everyone else doesn't even know if they're going to be racing Vegas for a championship, except for Tony Iverson. He needs to take advantage of that.
Yeah, those other 7 guys right now, they need to be working Nashville. It's time. And then next week, working Phoenix. So that extra 2 weeks really makes a difference. Those of you at home that do the iRacing, I mean, 1 practice session is a big jump. 2 practice sessions, double. And you just keep on putting those laps up there. Don't be thinking you're going to figure it out during the race. That's not a thing. None of those names you're looking up there are doing that. They have put on so many laps on these tracks.
Yep. I'm nauseous about some laps.
And then you add the practice on top of that. I mean, these guys are out there doing extended fuel runs, then coming in and just taking 2 tires to see what it feels like. Lots of strategy, especially once you get to this final 8, and now narrowing it down to the final 4. This thing is going to be a barn burner. I cannot wait. Every driver up there thinks they can win going into Nashville next week.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolute barn burner is the best way to describe it. It's going to be so good. And you're right. We've talked about it a lot during the regular season, how the cream seems to rise to the top at certain tracks. But when you get this deep in the season, it really is just all about those reps. I've talked a little bit about a few of the guys that I've been training in our team. And I always tell them, so let's say, take this one, for example. This was a 100-lap race. I need you to do 300 laps of practice to even approach where you need to be to hang with guys like this, because that's what they're probably doing. And it really is. That's what it takes to be at this level, to compete with these guys. And again, that's something that Tony Iverson doesn't have to worry about for the next 2 weeks. He doesn't need to put in those 1,000 laps at Phoenix and at Nashville to get ready. He can just put those 1,000 laps in at Vegas instead. Huge advantage, and I think it's going to be very important. I mean, we know how much the 11 loves Nashville. I know he's going to come into that one winner bust, right? That's all he's going to care about. And Bollinger is going to be very upset. That win slipped through his fingers. I'm sure in his mind feels like he should be racing for a championship. So next week is going to be a wild one, me and Gene, a lot at stake, and I think it's going to play a lot into who has the upper hand when we get to Vegas and race for a championship here.
Yep, and teams won't be quite as essential there. So. A lot of individual effort, I think, is what's going to put a guy up. So out of this list, though, if I'm going to keep my eye on one guy, I want to watch that 56. I want to see what Matt Novella does. He's shown last week first, this week third, and he's on that outside looking in. So I'm very curious to see, what a dark horse like Novella can do. And as always, my boy, who the one.
Mr. Rayshon Wakefield, I know.
That's right. Yeah. Mr. Rayshon Wakefield doing business as Sean Walton. Mm-hmm. That's another guy. Lots of speed there, and I'd like to see him put in that extra practice so he could throw his name into the hat as well.
No one's streakier than Matt Novella. I mean, Gene, no one's streakier. He's the streakiest driver I've ever seen.
And if he goes on one, he could be really tough to beat, especially really a 3-week run or a 5-week run. Totally possible. He's 2 weeks into this thing.
Yep.
We saw Owens do it earlier in the year, right?
We did. And yeah, Matt Novella, he has a MRL Truck Series championship, and he won 4 races in a row. And guess how many races he won that season?
4.
Yep. Nailed it.
That's how we do it.
Driver I've ever seen.
I don't know. Joey Logano's pretty streaky too. He waits.
He is.
I think they draw it out on a map when he needs.
Congratulations, by the way. Congratulations, by the way, my friend.
I know. I was really excited. I'm glad I didn't go to the IndyCar race here in Alabama. I almost went.
God,
Really
what
glad
a
I didn't.
snooze fest. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. Boy, I'd have been mad too if I got home from a snooze fest to be told, "Oh, by the way, Logano won."
Did that S word with Larson. I went to Long Beach. Great time, by the way. A great race, but very boring. Larson won that weekend, so awesome.
That's how they do us. That
Yep.
is how they do us.
It really is.
Well, again, let's give a big shout out our sponsor, Chantilly Lace. If you've got any type of photography or video needs that you would like memorialized on the East Coast, reach out to Chantilly Lace. They do still photography, they do video, as well as online and in DVR or video for you to be memorialized forever, whether it is a bar mitzvah or a wedding, anniversaries, heck, even quinceañeras. Let's go. Pull that word out. You can go ahead and have that memorialized forever by Chantilly Lace. Also, big shout out thanks to DDI and, of course, KK Woodworks getting in all of our trophies. Reach out to those guys as well if you'd like to memorialize some victories at your track. That's going to wrap up Inside the Mayhem here live on the Vortex Racing Network. I'm Mean Gene Money with Zach Panzarella. Always a pleasure for you guys to join us. Thank you so much. And we will be at Nashville next Monday. But before then, that's right, join us on Thursday night on MRL as we will broadcast our truck series, the Thursday Thriller Truck Series. Then on Saturday, we will have our Friday Night Thunder ARCA. And still on a hold for what, 3 more weeks for the Sunday BRL, Zach?
I believe so. May 8th, 2 more weeks, me and Junior. Made me nervous for my wedding, because that's the day of my wedding. But yeah, May 18th, so 2 more weeks. Oh my God. And yeah, y'all have fun for that season opener. I'm excited to watch that. And I'll see you on Monday as a married man the next day.
Ooh. Hey, you know who has 2 thumbs and has already put in about 400 laps at Kentucky?
Oh, I can't wait. I'm assuming that Jerry Rose guy?
This guy.
I'm hearing about that Jerry Rose kid. I think he has some potential, me and Gene.
Hey, man, I'll tell you what. If he could just finish on a lead lap on every race, that would be... That is the goal. That is the goal. That's going to wrap us up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Join us next week at Nashville as we will go into our second race of the round of 8. Wraps it up for us here from Michigan as Tony Iverson punches his way into the Final Four. Thanks to all our sponsors. Thank you to the boys in the production truck. Thank you to our league admins, Steve Fugay, John Beverly, Zach Panzarella, David Owens, Joe Volpus, and we shall see you next time. As always, bottoms up and hammer down.